Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here in Minnesota for the first drive of this vehicle right here. What is it? This is your all-new, totally redesigned 2025 Chevy Equinox. This particular one is the RS trim. But before we get into this compact crossover SUV with a sporty style to it, let's talk about what's going on here. Equinox, it's been around since 2005, if you could believe that. And for the most part, it's done its job very well. It's been that go-to for people that need a usable, versatile, affordable crossover SUV. Now, what's interesting is that for 2025 with the redesign, they've decided to take it up another notch, really bringing some muscular presence to the Equinox and reconfiguring their trims. You'll have 3 different trims to choose from, starting with LT, then you go RS, and then the top trim is going to be the new active trim, which actually has an off-road style to it. Now, in this compact crossover SUV segment, there's a ton of competition. Toyota RAV4, Nissan Rogue, Honda CR-V, Kia Sportage, Hyundai Tucson, Mazda CX-5. So what I want to find out is, we have an RS. RS stands for Rally Sport. I want to compare it to another sporty styled crossover SUV, the Mazda CX-5. So let's go ahead, let's dive into our Equinox RS and see if it's the better compact crossover to buy over the Mazda. Let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, you have a little bit wider of an Equinox. It's about 2 inches wider over the previous generation, and that's not only going to help with overall interior dimensions for your passengers and your junk, but also give it more of a presence. Now at the front of the business, you'll see Chevy's signature lighting that they're doing on all of their crossover SUVs. So you're going to have an LED turn signal daytime running lamp, like some of that dark chrome finish on the interior. And then working our way down, we have this very angled LED projector beam headlight pod. And then down below, we even have LED fog lamps. So nice that they're giving you full exterior lighting. Now, when you go RS, there's gonna be a lot of blacked out trim, but what I like is in the corner here, a lot of it is all body colored. Really looking good. Some flat black, and then like I said, some of that gloss black on the lower lip. Now, as we come across the new face of the Equinox, they've taken the hood and actually raised it, sort of like a Colorado or a Silverado, to give it that muscular stance. You got your blacked out bow tie with the RS badge in the gloss black, forward-facing camera, and then you'll notice the Rally Sport badge, RS. Rally Sport has been around since the 1960s, that trim, and it is a sport trim. It does not bring extra horsepower. So just something to remember, this is not an Equinox SS, which remember SS stands for Super Sport. But you do have active shutters behind the grille that open and close to let more or less air in for better efficiency. Love the style of the grille. And then on the lower portion, you're going to have functionality as well because we have an intercooler for our turbocharged engine, some body color, and then some gloss black. But I really feel like this radiant red color pops nicely in the Minnesota sun. Now, as we rise up, like I said, you have that rised up hood style, gives it a nice crisp line, 2 indentations, gives it some boldness to it, right? A lot of times, especially the previous gen, things were getting very rounded, very bland. It looked like a refrigerator on wheels. This has some pizzazz, and I'm digging that. Now, as we come around the bend, when you go RS, you're getting big wheels, 19-inch wheel, machine aluminum with the gloss black accents. It's actually carbon flash metallic. So if you know your Chevy talk, carbon flash metallic is actually a sparkly gloss black. So you got some metallic in there. Optional, you could get for the first time ever an optional wheel on the RS, which is a 20-inch wheel. This one is the standard RS 19-inch wheel. Tires are 235 on the width, 55 series sidewall. You could get your Equinox front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Ours is the all-wheel drive. And I think the other big thing to point out is look at how they've structured the fender opening. They've taken the style from the Silverado, just like the hood, from the Silverado, from the Colorado, that squared off opening, and it does give it a more, I guess, rugged kind of appearance to it. I'm actually liking the direction that they went in. Let me know what you think about the flat black. I think on RS trim, that should be body color, hands down. But other than that, I'm liking the wheels, and I'm loving the color of this radiant red. Now, as we go down the side, RS is gonna get you gloss black on the mirror caps. You got 360-degree cameras, two-tone roof. There's the sparkle in that metallic black roof. Down below, they blacked out the badging Equinox. And then, of course, from the side, you can see how this got it just a little bit larger. Not to where it's gonna be a mid-size. This is still a two-row compact size crossover SUV. Love the raised roof rails, a little bit of gloss black, a little bit of flash black. Of course, you get your accessory crossbars, put a cargo basket up there, put a kayak holder. We got a panoramic sunroof. And then really liking how they didn't do gloss black everywhere. You just have some gloss black along the bottom of the window openings. And then speaking of windows, there it is. That's the shark fin. So you have that shark fin design, how it gets pulled up into the quarter window, and that glass has a nice flow into the rear quarter panel. And then swinging around back, just like we started with new signature headlights, we have new signature taillights. Very, very nice the way that this is going to be covered throughout the whole Chevrolet crossover SUV segment. You got a nice roof spoiler, everything blacked out on top, including that shark fin antenna. You'll notice that we have, of course, our backup mirror camera. So that's the digital rear view mirror, separate from your backup camera. So backup camera is down below, digital rear view mirror is up top. I'm not going to zonk the wiper because every single compact crossover, except the Tucson, has an exposed wiper. I would like it to go away though. It would be nicer tucked underneath. Of course, you got to have the RS badge out back, just like we have up front. And then as we work our way down the ground level, that Equinox all-wheel drive, and then I love the way they work the lower rear bumper area. Don't have to have anything that looks like a fake exhaust opening or any of that crap. Nice and clean out back from front to the tail end of the business. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about what the heck is powering this Equinox. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Most of the competitors have prop rods, so we're gonna let that one slide. Underneath the hood is that EVO-TEX engine. What is it? You're looking at a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline-4, 175 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission when you go all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 in about 7.8 seconds. Top speed is right around 125 miles an hour. And if you're wondering about towing, you can tow, believe it or not, up to 1,500 pounds. Now, when it comes to MPGs, in the city, you're looking at 24. On the highway, you're looking at 29 MPGs. But nice to see the carryover. Would have been nice to have a little bit more horsepower, but one of the things that Chevrolet says is that they really have road tested this engine to make sure that it has the durability. Now, looking at the other compact crossover SUVs, if you look at a base CX-5, that one has a naturally aspirated inline-4. You can get turbocharged, but that's an option. And then lots of the other competitors have naturally aspirated engines. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this new Equinox and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. This being the RS trim with all-wheel drive. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm actually liking the Equinox. I haven't liked an Equinox since 2005, since when they started making them. I've never liked an Equinox, but I'm liking this one. How much is it? Very good question. MSRP for this one is starting at $36,300. $395. That's with the all-wheel drive. Let's see what you get for the money and what's new to the door panels. Love the style that we have. So you have this material called EVO-TEX. Nice soft material with a little bit of texture to it. And then you'll also see the red and blue stitching. Really pops nicely. Just a little bit of gloss black, but the zonk is it's right on the part that you have to touch when you close the door. Other than that, no other gloss black. And then down below, you could easily put two of Minnesota's best Juicy Lucy's in there and a bottle of sun-kissed orange soda to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, loving the red. That's all part of the RS trim. This nice textured material looks great. Even the way they sculpted those AC vents, absolutely beautiful. And then you slide on in, what are you going to be greeted to? 11.3-inch infotainment system. It's got the Google Maps, Google Assistant, all touchscreen capable. Alexa, we got cameras out the wazoo. More cameras than what they had when they landed on the freaking moon. You can see those 19-inch wheels so you don't curb them and look like a fool in the mall parking lot. And then all the other nice, easy to get to things. It's very simple to use and camera quality is perfect. Let me throw it in reverse. Look how clear that is. The great resolution, 360. Like I said, they got you covered when it comes to technology in here. Start stop button. Love the soft trim. Dual climate control. Look at that. Right on the knobs there. You do have 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats. Your toggle switches for your AC controls, USB-C, USB-A, a place for a Whataburger. Even the blacked out bow tie on the key fob. Spin around, you do have remote start. Down below, that's where you're easily going to be able to put a loaf of Wonder Bread, maybe a bottle of peanut butter and a bottle of jelly there so you can make some PB&Js. Wireless charging, you just drop your phone in there. We got our mode selector knob. And I'm gonna have Steven go back to the screen because this is really where they put some time and energy. Look at that off-road, normal, make a snowman mode. Love the graphics. It looks fan-freaking-tastic. Awesome. Look at that. Really, really great. One thing I'm a little confused on, where's sport mode? So there's no sport mode in an RS, which is a sport trim. That to me is a zonk. That's just me. But back to our center stack here, you got your 2 cup holders, a place where you could easily put, I would say, a pack of candy cigarettes, soft touch material with the stitching. Open it up, look at this. First of all, you got a little tray here. This is where you're gonna be able to keep your old girlfriend's class ring. And then you got enough room in there for, I would say, 8 VHS tapes. So here's the thing. If you are holding on to your ex-girlfriend's class ring when you were in high school, and you're holding on to those VHS tapes when you went to spring break over at Cancun, and you can't stop thinking about her, get rid of this crap. Get rid of it. It's not doing you any good, especially if you're married. If you're married, my question is, what does your wife think about the ring and the tapes? Maybe that's why you keep them in the car, so your wife doesn't find them. Secrets don't make friends. Seats, RS embossed, the blue stitching, the red material, the piping, nice bolstering. Do we have electric assist? Yes, we do, of course. In the RS trim, we have electric assist for the driver as well. And then check it 1, 2. You got a power sunshade for our panoramic sunroof. So that's another nice touch. And digital rear view mirror. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you behind the steering wheel with the RS badge on it. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. And there's your power seat controls. Easy to get to, including the lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall. I do like the way they arrange the interior, especially by taking, I'm so glad this is coming back, taking the shifter away from the center console and putting it back on the steering column. It really just creates a nice environment to be in. Speak about environment, you're gonna wanna rub your hands all over the steering wheel. Love the red stitching. It is a heated steering wheel. You got the RS badge. Remember, RS doesn't stand for Rally Sport. I don't care how many times your mother used to tell you that when you were a kid. Or excuse me, really smart. It stands for Rally Sport. Come on, get with the know. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 8-speed automatic. And it's cool how you could actually turn on and off your all-wheel drive all by the press of a button. It is manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. There's that electric shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And then you got a beautiful 11-inch digital gauge cluster that has a cornucopia of information, plus updated on the safety features. More safety features than you can freaking count on your hands and your feet. That's more than 20. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Lots of safety features. But let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are going to be happy that you went Equinox. All right, guys, back seat time. And like I was saying, by enlarging the Equinox a little bit, it actually has increased passenger volume, cargo volume. One thing I want to point out is, even though this isn't an EV, look at how flat the floor is. That really is so crazy that they got the floor that flat, even with this being an all-wheel drive, because it really gives you lots of leg room. You got the EVO-TEX material all the way around. Nice large pockets. You could put, I would say, probably, my mom would love to put about 4 wooden spoons back there. And if you're not Italian, you won't get what you won't be picking up what I'm putting down. I remember growing up, if you're growing up in an Italian household, beware the wooden spoon, because your mom's gonna swing that thing at you and it's gonna hurt, I promise you. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. You do have a little bit of a mini command center, AC vents, 3 stages of heated seats, which are nice. And down below, you got 2 USB-Cs. So they got you covered connectivity-wise. More of that EVO-TEX, which is good because the rest of the door panel is hard plastic. So I'm glad they got the EVO-TEX. All the red, the blue, the stitching. Pull this down. Charmin soft. 2 cup holders. Let's get that cargo area because I want to take you for a spin in this Rally Sport Equinox. All right, guys, cargo area time. Hit the button. Nice electric assist. Rises up. You're going to be greeted to almost 29 cubic feet of space. Check out the nooks. They actually designed this for a box of Star Crunch, Little Debbie Star Crunch. And then on the passenger side, you have your nook for not only your gallon of milk, but check it out. We do have a 12-volt nicely located for when you're going to the beach. Got an electric air compressor. You could blow up those rafts and stuff for your kid really easy. Now, if you want to get more cargo room, look at how easy it is. You're just going to reach and push. 60-40 split, almost totally flat. So if you're going to Costco and you're getting that big screen TV, it's almost totally flat. But how much cargo space do we have now? So we started off with almost 29. Now you have 63 and a half. 63.5 cubic feet of space. And then look at this. We're not done yet. Boom. You have actual under the floor storage here. Steven and I figured it out. So Steven loves Funyuns. I love Doritos. He was able to get 15 bags of Funyuns in here, and I was able to get 10 bags of Doritos. The reason why is I ate a couple of them before I put them back here. But it's about that time. We got all-wheel drive. We got an 8-speed automatic transmission. No CVT in this one. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this Equinox. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Chevrolet Equinox RS, and right away, you're gonna like the organization of how this cabin is. It really does feel like a totally different Equinox in here, as it should be in a redesign. But with the all-wheel drive engaged, I want to go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. So they recalibrated the shifting of the transmission through the ECU. So they went ahead and recalibrated that to really kind of bring it more into the torque sweet spot of the power delivery. That's going to allow you to actually think that this is even faster than the 0 to 60 of 7.8 seconds. And it just helps with the overall driving experience, where you have that torque delivery, try to get it as linear as possible, even though we are in a turbocharged vehicle. Now, getting to that new 11.3-inch digital gauge cluster, well within reach. And I think GM has some of the easiest to use infotainment systems. I mean, they're very intuitive. You know where everything is easily laid out. Love having the digital rear view mirror technology, even in a compact crossover SUV. And of course, remember, we have our different driving modes, which we're not doing any off-road driving. And like I mentioned earlier, it's nice to not be in Minnesota during the wintertime, so we're not doing any snow driving or anything like that. But really one of those vehicles that you want to make a U-turn because of the size, because of the good turning radius. I mean, look at that. It has a really good turning radius to where a U-turn on a busy street is not going to leave you like hanging out to dry type of thing. Visibility, they pulled the A-pillars really far apart. And reworking the seats, I think, was important as well. Not only the padding, but the seat structure. It's more supportive, and it doesn't feel too squishy like a marshmallow. You don't want your seat to be like a marshmallow, because then you can't feel anything while you're driving. But remapping the ECU with the transmission allows for smoother shifts, quicker shifts, and you do have paddles, like I pointed out, on the back of the steering wheel to go through that 9-speed automatic transmission. Excuse me, 8-speed. I almost gave it an extra speed for no reason. And that's another reason why it's good to compare this to a Mazda CX-5, because Mazda CX-5s also have, depending on the Mazda that you're driving, anywhere from 6-speed to 8-speed. They don't have any CVT. The only way to get a CVT in the Equinox is to have a front-wheel drive only Equinox. That gives you a CVT transmission with simulated shifts, of course. But in the RS trim, great to have heated seats, ventilated seats. This is a long light. I'm actually gonna go the other way here, just because that was a really long light. But having all of the great amenities and technology, I think, is really gonna bring a lot of value for people, because those are the things that people want to see. They want to have that easy connectivity to their infotainment system. They want to have, you know, all the comforts of home in their vehicle, especially if you're on the road a lot. It's really gonna play a big role in how much you enjoy this Equinox. But steering input is good, not anything too heavy. And then, of course, like I mentioned before, all the safety features in this vehicle, they really have upped the ante for model year 2025. The 4-cylinder does make usual 4-cylinder sound, so that's just one of those things. But the good news is there's no pumped-in sound. I'm glad about that, because I hate it when these manufacturers try to make it seem more sporty by pumping in sound. We don't need that. You got the connectivity, you got the storage underneath, because now, like I said, the shifter is mounted up top, and you got plenty of room for people and your junk in the back. But I think overall you're gonna like the changes that they made to the chassis, the suspension, and even with the RS's 19-inch wheels, the ride is still very comfy. It's not harsh by any means. Now, we would have to see what it's going to be like with the 20-inch wheel, but I still think that even with the 20-inch wheel, the engineers have done the proper work to make sure that everything is going to feel good. It's not going to be too rough of a ride. All right, guys, I want to get out onto the highway and see how this Equinox RS drives down the road. On throttle, here we go. So what's nice is you could actually hit that all-wheel drive button, and now I'm in 2-wheel drive while you're on the highway, and this is gonna help with fuel economy. So nice to be able to just hit that button and have the all-wheel drive or the 2-wheel drive whenever you want it, whenever you need it. To me, that makes sense. But going down the highway here, they did a pretty good job of keeping everything nice and quiet on the interior. Not a lot of road noise, a little bit of wind noise, not too much road noise. Obviously, we need to drive the one with the optional 20-inch wheels to tell you how that one's gonna be, but definitely have improved the Equinox. You can't argue that. The big question is it better than a Mazda CX-5? That's what I want to find out from you in the comment section. But I'm hoping that you enjoyed this quick overall review of the Equinox RS. We're going to get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Hi guys, another great day in so many ways here in Minnesota. Nice to be here during the summer where it's not as cold as during the winter time. But we got to thank the whole Chevrolet team having us out for this first drive of the Equinox RS. Let me know what you think. Has Chevy done it right with the new Equinox? And is it better, do you think, than the CX-5, the Mazda CX-5? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. Need to give it up, Stephen Flood. He'll fly wherever he's got to fly. He's even willing to go to Antarctica, he told me, to get the car reviews done. So show him some love in the comment section. Pack your bags for Antarctica, Stephen, because that's where we're going next. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.